making his way to the cage. Craig Chester's 28 years of age from Hyde MMA, 3 wins and 1 loss in his 4 fights. Again, from Manchester, big Manchester fight fraternity here tonight. 2 of those 3 wins by way of knockout.
The word knockout just instills fear, especially if you're the guy standing across the cage with a guy that has knockouts on his record. Saying that, however, look at his badge of courage on the right side of his head. His ear is really cauliflowered and knotted up. And that tells me he's either been headbutting brick walls or he's been doing a lot of wrestling, a lot of ground game.
Yes, he's known as a well-rounded fighter. And again, a big stage coming into what is technically your 5th fight. But by the same token, Pierre, a big opportunity. So Craig Chester's entered the cage, 28 years of age, 5'8".
Now, just looking at the back on that guy, he looks like he's very well put together, very strong, very solid. This may cause problems for his opponent tonight.
So talking of his opponent, Pierre is someone we've seen fight many times, Scott Jansen. And all I can say about Scott is every single fight he brings it. Win or lose, the man comes to fight. It's that old-fashioned Spartan thing. You win or you go out on your shield. There's no in-between with Scott, and that's why I think he's such a popular fighter. Forget the record, it's the way the man fights.
Now Scott comes out to the ring followed by Alan Kettles. Very well-renowned Muay Thai practitioner and coach. He's also the head coach for striking for one Tom Kong Watson. Now, I think the thing that's frustrating about Scott is that his record should be unblemished, I feel, because I think on any given night, if he's able to put it together, he's going to be a handful and should walk away with the win.
But his style, Pierre, is that open, isn't it? He's going to win or lose the same way. Most of the time, you look at his wins, 6 wins, 5 by knockout. I mean, at the end of the day, the man goes for one thing and he's set up for the retaliation that might come.
Now looking at his opponent, the way that I see it playing out in my head is that his opponent is going to, Craig Chester is going to try to close down the distance, take him down. Scott Jansen is going to have to use footwork, keep it at long range, and try to avoid that at all costs. Because so far, right now, his ground game has not matched up with his stand-up skills. So he may surprise us all and whip out an armbar tonight. You never know. However, again, I'd want to see it kept at long range for Scott Jansen.
So Jansen, as always, in incredible shape as he comes to the cage. His stand-up not in doubt. His heart not in doubt. And as we've said, we've seen most of his fights. He's never in a bad one.
And you feel sometimes that when it goes to the ground, it's not that he doesn't know what to do or how to defend. He just gets frustrated because I want to be back on the feet. I want to give the fans what they want, and I want to showcase my stand-up striking skills. Unfortunately, this is mixed martial arts, so you have to have a very well-rounded game.
Hence the reason for his record not being what it should.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Wembley, and for the fans watching on Facebook, it's now time for our next contest of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds of fighting in the lightweight division. Your referee for this contest is Mark Goddard. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial arts fighter with a professional record of 4 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Manchester, England. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Chester. His opponent fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial arts fighter with a professional record of 5 wins, 8 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Croydon, England. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Too Hot Jansen.
For me, Pierre, how this fight pans out depends really on how Craig Chester is going to react to Scott Jansen, how he decides to fight him.
Well, to tell you the truth, for me, Craig Chester is kind of like an unknown. I haven't seen a lot of him. I know Scott Jansen's, I know his strong points. And again, it's going to be that striking. He needs to keep it at range. But we'll see if Craig Chester's, again, a beautiful shot. However, Jansen saw it coming a mile away. Now look at this. Jansen looks to take the back. However, look, Chester's immediately swaps over for a single leg, but he looks to be in a little bit of trouble. Jansen may have the guillotine here in the first. It looks deep.
Yes, this would be a real shock. But again, Jansen trying to get upright. As we expected, Craig Chester's really set out his stall there, Pierre. He doesn't want to stand and trade with Scott Jansen. That's been made very apparent very early.
Now, what surprised me, though, is Jansen looked very, very good, smooth and fluid on his ground game. That was a question mark for me at the beginning of the round, however, saying that this is the new and improved Scott Jansen.
Nice short knee there from Jansen. Another chips a left hand there, though, and then a right. Good right hand in reply from Jansen, and again that right stinging right hand forces Chester to shoot. So Craig Chester's tested the water a little bit there upright here.
And he didn't like how the water tasted, so immediately changed levels, shot in. However, Jansen, beautiful, beautiful defense against the ground game here.
And then breaks free.
Now that's what the fans like to see, the old spinning back kick.
And a nice short left as well.
Now Chester throws his own little kick.
Boy tie there, Pierre. Trapped the leg, took the other leg. When you've got Alan Kettle in your corner, you're going to see that sort of Muay Thai action.
Nice jab returned kick by Chester's. And again, look at the power of that. Jansen is really improved. I mean, his anti-grappling skills very much in show here in the first.
Yes, if you're not going to really develop a ground game, you need to develop a ground defense, and that's what we're seeing from Scott Jansen.
Now look at that inside leg kick, jumping roundhouse there by Chester's. Spinning back fist, just missed the mark. I felt the wind through my hair, Malcolm.
And you have a lush head of hair there, Pierre.
Now so far, this has been tit for tat. Jansen throws some strikes, Chester tries to take him down.
Jansen just out of range to get the real power in those shots.
I'll tell you what, so far here tonight, Scott Jansen looking like the real McCoy.
And Chester's coming with a nice little body shot and a nice leg shot, but then Jansen opens up there, Scott.
That was a beautiful little combination there. Body head, also working the knee, very fluid. It came instinctually. He didn't have to think about it, it just came.
Well, when you're working with Alan Kettles, the knee will really work for you.
Now, he was in a three-point stance, meaning that he had 3 points of contact on the mat. When you're like that, you can't get kneed in the head. That's against the rules. Jansen acknowledges that, touch of gloves, and I enjoyed the sportsmanship showed by both fighters here tonight.
Now Chester's has been upright for a lot of this round now, Pierre, in front of a dangerous opponent. He's tried to shoot, he hasn't been able to take him down, but he now seems to be growing in confidence himself upright.
Yeah, but so far for me, yeah, and again, that's the second and third time that Jansen, beautiful, Muay Thai, just the kick, huge knees off the clinch.
As we said, very instinctive from Scott Jansen.
Immediately, when Chester went for that double, he fed the inside leg in, throwing the hips out, big knee again.
His defense,
Huge right hand.
and that right hand sunk in as well, going around the guard of Craig Chester's.
Now look at that. Very, very pro move right there by Jansen. He threw the combinations, knew he didn't have it. Instead of going in for the kill, he backed off. He didn't want to blow out his tank right there. Very, very skilled and veteran move there.
Short rising elbow in that little combination as well. Excellent work from Scott Jansen.
Now, I've been watching Chester's shot. He has a very good shot. However, he leaves something off at the very end. He doesn't continue that penetration. If he continues the penetration, one or two things is going to happen. He's either going to take him down, or at least he's going to push his back up against the cage and then work the cage takedowns from there.
Yes, missed with a big bolo attempt there as well, Craig Chester's.
So you can look at Chester's face, he's frustrated. He's like, whenever you get 2 to 3 shots defended, it kind of crushes and takes out your soul. Look at here, very good ground defense. Now, it didn't even look like he hit the knee. However, Jansen backed off, knew that he did, something that wasn't right. Now look at this here. Jansen, head movement, catches that kick, and right there, knee straight to the middle. Big shots, tight clinch here, and he's just throwing those knees at will. Big right pushes off, big right again. Knee straight through the middle. I mean, Jansen is just doing all the right things. Again, making those little things that make the big things happen. Malcolm, in the corner of Chester's, what are you telling him right now?
Well, for me, the biggest problem for us has been he hasn't been able to follow his game plan. Every attempt to shoot has been countered. So as we've said before, Pierre, what he needs to do now for me is set that shoot up, disguise that shoot. Let's work him, then go for it in the middle of a combination, because every time he's gone for the shoot, Scott has had him in the guillotine or turned him and kneed him. I think a little bit of disguise, a little bit of street smarts here from him.
Now, you're a stand-up fighter yourself. You have your own gym. For Jansen, for him to seal the deal, what does he need to do?
Well, as long as he stays alert to the takedown attempts, just this, keep it going. I mean, what I like is he doesn't stay there too long. There's this guy, for the first time, tries the Superman punch to set up the takedown, but it's still been seen.
Now look at this, Jansen tried for a far side Kimura, thought better of it, and now goes back to his anti-grappling. Feeding the underhook in, trying to bring his opponent up. However, Chester switches over to the single.
Well, this has been the problem for Chester. There's nothing that's got him out of his stride, Jansen.
Jansen is skipping those elbows, and I believe he just knocked. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best that I've ever seen Scott Jansen. Hello, world.
Craig Chester's is not happy with that, but he was in a position where it was totally legal. It wasn't in the back of the head, but it just highlighted the problem that Craig Chester's has had all evening. He can't take his man down. He can't do what he wants. The fight's style was dominated by what Scott Jansen wanted to do, and he did it superbly.
Now, the way that I've watched this fight, could it be that Alan Kettles is secretly a black belt in jiu-jitsu? Far side Kimura, however, he switches over to the elbow, straight on the side of the head, just skipping him off, and bang, right there. Lights out, Chester falls to the ground, and Jansen smells the blood, follows it up, and doesn't stop until the ref calls him off. And that's not to the back of the head, that's skipping straight off the back, straight off the side, and again, following it up.
Tough night for Craig Chesters, but a huge advance for Scott Jansen. As you said, a much more rounded fighter indeed. And there you have it, that's all she wrote.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this fight at 50 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by TKO. Out of the blue corner, Scott Too Hot Jansen.
So BAMMA's 6. Well, the fights are just getting better. And Scott, may I say, a totally dominating and controlled performance.
Good to be back, baby. Good to be back.
Now, you've been training in America. It seems like you've got a whole new angle to your game now, a whole new level.
Yeah, I don't think there's no one in this country that can keep me down for longer than 5 seconds if they get me down now.
Now, they are big words. But just showing it tonight, I mean, you showed your stand-up. You seem to be on another level to everyone.
No, I mean, I try, man. That's my home. That's what I love best, is my stand-up, man. I love to stand and bang. If I get in trouble and we go to the floor, we go to the floor, but every fight starts standing, right?
Well, just talk us through the end of the fight. I know your opponent was a little unhappy. He said it was the back of the head.
Back of the head, look, it was to his ears. It was his ears, man. It is what it is. He stopped, he melted, and I finished him off.
But good sportsman through the fight. It now looks like you're back, and is this a run at the title?
Oh, for sure, man. I'm back, and I'm training hard right now, so yeah, whatever it is, I'm here. BAMMA, you tell me who there is out there for me, and I'm there.
And just one last thing, I mean, we've seen the Scott Jansen of the past where at times you would have rushed in, maybe got a bit ahead of yourself. Now, it's just composure.
Yeah, man, I mean, I've got the experience on my side now, so I'm just trying to stay relaxed. That's where I lose most of my fights, by rushing and getting stuck into balls and that. I mean, I'm better than that now. I try to sit back, wait for the right shots and let it happen, you know?
And you did this evening. Put your hands together for your winner, Scott Jansen!